All right, let's talk about some NFL from last week and then preview some from the next week. Bengals Texans. One of those great Thursday night games that they give you every week. We got Niners Rams this week, so make sure you clear your calendars for that one. That's going to be a dandy. But yeah, Texans Bengals. They punted the whole game. Highlights of the game was probably Deshaun Watson's touchdown or J.J. Watt's body slam at the end. Ravens Browns. We knew Ravens were probably going to win this one. Kaiser went out with a migraine in the second. And big storyline of this game. West had a TD, but Javaris Allen was the big fantasy guy for the Ravens this game, I'd say. Bills Panthers. Oh, another great just defensive punting back and forth. At least you felt like these were some good defenses. There's some actual all right teams. When you watch the Bengals Texans, you're like, golly. But it was an all right game. Bills had a chance to win throughout. Didn't give up a TD. Watched Bills defense as a fantasy thing. They played honestly pretty good. Gave up 12 points week one. Gave up 9 points this last week. So played pretty good as a defense for the Bills. Cardinals Colts had Cardinals winning. Sorry. Got kind of nervous when the Colts were up 13-3. But somehow Cardinals and Carson Palmer was able to come back in the fourth. J.J. Nelson had a big game. Pick up J.J. Nelson if you need a wideout. Titans, Jags, Allen Robinson went down last week. Marquise Lee had a pretty good game. Allen Hurns, another guy that caught a TD, so he had an all right game. Titans definitely destroyed them. I thought Titans would definitely handle them. Bortles is just a bad quarterback. He's just not an NFL quarterback. Eagles-Chiefs is honestly a pretty good game. Hunt was able to take over in the second half, got his fantasy owners some good points. Travis Kelce had a huge game. I think it was more of just the Chiefs were just the better team than the Eagles. The Eagles just couldn't keep up with the Chiefs late in the game. Vikings-Steelers, Bradford didn't play, so it definitely threw off everybody for the Vikings. The connection that he has with Diggs and Thielen, that's gone. And Steelers, if Steelers are one of the teams that's really good at just attacking mismatches. Their offense played pretty good. Le'Veon Bell played better than he did the week before, but I'm still not sold that he's back yet. Patriots Saints, thought the Patriots would definitely beat the Saints with how bad the Saints secondary is, and they definitely slaughtered them. I will say the Saints hung around a little bit longer, and I will say Tom Brady was making some plays that Tom Brady usually doesn't make. Some dumb throws that he was making. I will say one of the throws that was dumb that he made, he knew that there was 12 people on the field for the Saints, but still, it was like, what the hell are you doing, Tom? And then Bears Bucks. This is one of those games where the Bucks just went up 10, and instead of like the Bears being able to score a TD and keeping it close, they had a turnover, and then the Bucks scored again. And then every time the Bucks got the ball, they're just running it down their throat with Jaquiz Rodgers, and then they're kicking field goals. And they're at 29-0 before we knew it. I don't know if Jordan Howard's hurt; his arm was in a sling, but Tyreek Cohen fantasy owners, get excited. He could get some more playing time this week if you went ahead and picked him up last week, even though you did need a running back. Good job. That's what I did. So I had him on my team. Dolphins-Chargers. This was one of them games where Chargers needed a new field goal kicker. Lost 2 weeks in a row because their field goal kicker, it's a new guy from Georgia Southern. I'm not saying he's not a good kicker, but, it hadn't been hard kicks. Rivers just got him down there in position to win the game or tie the game, and he just hadn't hit him. Dolphins, I liked how Jay Cutler uses receivers. I know he's going to use Stills well. I know he's going to use the hell out of Landry. He loves throwing short little dinks to Landry. He threw 11 of them, I think, for 67 yards just on Sunday. And then Devontae Parker, to me, is the deep threat guy or the big possession receiver that they need. So I like what I see out of the Dolphins. The Dolphins' defense ain't that bad. And you talk about they got a Jai. I think he rushed for over 100 yards. I picked the Chargers to win this game. Dolphins won. A very close one. I liked what I saw out of them. Jets, Raiders. Thought the Raiders would definitely win. Raiders had a big game. Crabtree had 3 TDs. Carr's looking good again this year. Cowboys, Broncos. I picked Cowboys to win. I didn't see the Broncos shutting down this offense the way it did. And to me, the Broncos are two different teams. The Broncos are either that team that doesn't have any offense, or that team that has every offensive weapon in the world is working. So, right now we're looking at the good Broncos. In 2 or 3 weeks, we'll see the bad Broncos. I'm not worried. It'll happen. Redskins, Rams. I picked the Redskins to win. I thought the Redskins just needed to win more. I thought the Rams would play kind of like the Jags, but Sean McVay's got these guys playing good. Goff is not looking like one of those, slouches that we've seen the last couple of years. He's actually playing really good. He's got a really good connection with Cooper Kupp. So watch that connection, watch that chemistry. That's a guy that you could pick up later in the year. And then Niners Seahawks. Seahawks was able to pull it out. I mean, I think this game was more about how bad have the Seahawks looked this year. They can't score any fucking points. They've scored one TD all year. Their running game's been really suspect. Chris Carson did look good, though. He rushed for, I think, 90 yards. He had about 18 carries. I could see him being the guy for the Seahawks now because they really don't like Lacy. They really don't like Rawls. They dropped Collins. They just hadn't found the guy. They like Prosite in the third down back role, but they don't like Prosite. And you like Prosite out the backfield, but they don't like running Prosite. So I was kind of scared for the Seahawks, but, I picked Packers to win this game. If I would have known that the Packers didn't have both tackles, and I knew Rodgers was going to be running around all over the place the whole game, I probably would have picked the Falcons. But Falcons definitely jumped up on top. Another thing, Rodgers did make some key mistakes. He threw a pick right before half that he usually doesn't make. That was a play where usually they go down the field and they kick a field goal, or if he doesn't score, he at least punts it, and then they're down by 10 coming out of half. But this was a play where he threw the pick. They went down 24-7, I think, at that point. So it was really tough for him to ever make a comeback. Like I said, both his tackles were out. He got slaughtered all day. If Rodgers doesn't have an offensive line, he can't do the things that he does. Lions, Giants. I picked Giants to win this game, and the Lions, Stafford making people look stupid. Stafford is looking like one of the top quarterbacks in the league this year. The way, and not even to say this year, the last 2 years, the way he had all those comebacks from behind. Look what has happened to Stafford. Everybody wrote Stafford off. They said, oh, you lost Calvin Johnson, you're done. I said you're done when he lost Calvin Johnson. But at the same time, I said, oh, maybe this will make Stafford a better player. Maybe this will make Stafford not rely on Calvin Johnson so much, make him spread it out a little bit more. Another thing about the Lions last night, Jim Bob Cooter, he was fucking running the ball. I love the fact that he decided to run the ball. And this is something that the Lions never have an opportunity to do. They never have an opportunity to run the ball because they're usually losing games. And the reason they were winning that game last night was because of defense and special teams. That Jamal Agnew is the guy that I remember seeing in the preseason. Had a real good punt return. Had a punt return last night. And then you talk about the defense had turnovers all day, had sacks. They were all over him, all over what's his name, Manning all day. Manning was flopping around all day last night. So talk about this next week. Some matchups. Rams-Niners. Game of the week. Rams-Niners. Just kidding. I'll take Rams to win. I like what I've seen out of the Rams the last 2 weeks. Gurley looks good. Their offense is definitely focused around Gurley. I see Kupp having a game. Niners are going to play them close. Hoyer's going to have to do something, though. Hoyer has done absolutely nothing since he's came to San Francisco. They're going to be run heavy. I see that, but I don't think they're going to run the ball that well against the Rams front four. Ravens, Jags. I think Jags will continue to show you more of the same of what they showed you this last week. Ravens defense should jump all over them. I think a big week out of this Ravens secondary. I'll take Ravens on the road. I'll take Broncos on the road over the Bills. The Bills have a lot of issues scoring points. I think that'll continue. I think LaShawn McCoy will have a really tough game against the Broncos defense after what they did against the Zeke. I think he might be a little bit more of a factor because I think he's a little bit of a better player in the passing game than Zeke is. They don't ever throw to Zeke. I think Bills will be really good. Back to talking about last week. Like I said in my video last week, Dak is never forced to do anything. You see what happened when Dak is forced to do things? He's not as good as you thought he is. He's not the guy that everybody puts him out to be. Dak is nothing. Dak is the same as Jared Goff to me. He's a young and up-and-coming guy that happened to be – this is the difference between Dak Prescott and Jared Goff. Jared Goff is on a bad team, and Prescott is on a good team. And so, to me, going back to this, let me get back into this next week. I just had to talk about Dak for a minute. Saints, Panthers. I'll take Saints. I think Saints are 0-2. Panthers are 2-0. I think Saints really need this win over the Panthers. I'll take Saints to win. I think they can do it. Steelers, Bears. I'll definitely take the Bears to win. Or no. Yeah, I'll take the Steelers to win. I don't like the Bears at all. I'll take Steelers. Falcons, Lions. I think Lions will give them a hell, but I'm taking Falcons. It's in a dome. It's going to be like a home game for the Falcons. I'll take Falcons. Browns, Colts. I'm actually taking Browns this week. Browns are going to get a win this week. I think they're going to ride Crowell. I think they're going to have a huge week. I don't like the Colts. Obviously, no luck. They're nothing. So I'm taking Browns this week. I'm going out on a limb, taking Browns on the road. Bucks, Vikings. I'm taking Bucks. I don't think Bradford will be back this week. I think Bucks defense looked really good last week. I think Bucks defense will continue to play good. Patriots, Texans. I'm taking Patriots for sure. I think they'll destroy the Texans. Dolphins, Jets. I'm taking Dolphins. No brainer. Giants, Eagles. Eagles are 1-1. Giants are 0-2. This is a huge game for the Giants. I just feel like the Giants have to have this game, so I'm taking Giants in this game. I think it'll be a really good game though. I think Wentz will actually play better than you think. Giants defense is not as good as it was as all y'all thought it was. Now, they did have some injuries last night, but no, this defense is not what it was. Gave it 24 last night, gave it 19 the night before. You can't do that when you have an offense that hadn't scored more than 20. They hadn't scored more than 20 points and since week 10 of last year or something like that. They can't score. So the 3 o'clock games, Seahawks, Titans, to me is the game of the week. It's kind of tough. I'm going to take Titans. I don't like what I've seen out of the Seahawks offense. I think they pull it out late. Packers, Bengals. I think Packers beat the Bengals. I think if they're having issues with their tackles again, I think the Bengals defense could get on top of the Packers, but I think Packers definitely win regardless. Chiefs, Chargers. This is a real tough game. I'm going to go ahead and take the Chiefs to win the game. This is a big game for the Chargers because they're 0-2. Chiefs are 2-0. It's a way bigger game for the Chargers, but I think the Chiefs. I really like how the offense is playing. I like how the defense is playing. I like it. I like the Chiefs in general right now. I'm taking the Chiefs to win. Raiders, Redskins. I'm taking Raiders to win. I think Kirk Cousins could have himself a little bit of a game here. Keep the Redskins in it, but I'm definitely taking Raiders. Cowboys, Cardinals. I'll for sure take Cowboys to bounce back this week. I think they're going to be hungry to bounce back against a really shitty Cardinals team. The Cardinals look really bad this year, definitely without David Johnson. Their defense is not bad, but when their offense doesn't score any points, then what is there to do? So that's what I got to say about that.